world, it felt like. Chris, how we living?
Good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right. Just enjoying the sights and sounds of training camp practice. I know you've probably seen a few at this point in your career. It's probably not as football is always enjoyable, but at this point, at 30 years old, the grind of training camp, you understand how to manage these things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this isn't new to me. I come out here, I have a plan, I have a routine I do, so I definitely know how to navigate through training camp by now.
So with Mike Vrabel is not often complimentary of people in the way that he has been very, very complimentary of your effort, your ability. He said, the only thing that I wish with Chris is we could have gotten him earlier in his career.
Yeah.
At this point, what's it like to have that kind of support from a guy like Vrabel who doesn't dole those things out very easily?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, to be honest, I'm honored to have him make comments like that about me. I feel like that just shows my personality and like what I try to bring to the team. Honestly, I'm a work guy. I just come into the building and try to work, and that's my main goal is just to work and just help any way I can to help this team win.
So I'm sure that's something that you always had as a part of your work ethic and things like that. But at what point, like in the league, did you understand, okay, I'm just going to have, whether I thought I was going to come in and primarily play wide receiver or maybe primarily come in and play teams, whatever this looks like, I just have to find a role. Was there a certain point in your career where you felt like that kind of materialized?
Man, I think the light bulb went off for me early in my career. When I first got to Baltimore and when I got drafted, our special teams coach, we were in a gunner meeting, and he showed me film of Matthew Slater, and he's like, this guy's been in the league for X amount of years just playing gunner, not even playing receiver. And I'm like, man, if I can make a living and make a career just doing that, like that's whatever they ask me, I'm gonna do from there. Because it's like once you get your foot in the door, you gotten blessed with the opportunity to be here, and after that, it's just about staying here. So, whatever a team asked me, I was down to do, just as long as I got to play football. That's all I care about.
And that's something that you've continued to do here, right? You talk about playing gunner. I mean, you're out here taking special teams reps at 30 years old.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I love special teams. Like, I don't see it as like a slight to my skill. I think honestly, most teams, especially like the good teams in this league, they respect special teams players because they know it's a big part of this game. There's a lot of big plays that can be made on special teams. I've scored a number of touchdowns in my career. I've flipped the field. I've done a lot of things to help a team win on special teams. So if I'm out there, that's all I'm trying to do is help this team win.
Do you feel – because I understand what you're saying about like some people may frame it almost as a derogatory situation when that's a very, very critical part of field position and trying to capitalize on opportunities offensively or defensively.
Definitely.
I think that those kind of things, it's almost like offensive line play. Like not all of us understand the intricacies of offensive line play.
Yeah.
You see what happens and you kind of understand that that's a part of the game, but not quite to the extent that, of course, special teams and the value that you guys bring on a regular basis is.
Yeah, like I said, it's just as important as offense and defense. There's so many things that can happen out there that it's not just another play. It's not a play that as a player you can take off, or as a fan, like you may not understand what's going on, but there's a lot of scheme going on. There's a lot of one-on-one matchups that honestly, if you lose that matchup, that can decide the whole field position. That could be a touchdown on punt return. It's just I always believe it's a critical point in this game. I think maybe coming from college, a lot of guys, I think that's where that mindset came from.
Sure.
Like, oh, you played special teams in college, you weren't that receiver. But here in the league, some of your starting receivers are going to play special teams sometimes. It just depends on what team you are on.
Wide receiver Chris Moore hanging out here with us after Titans training camp on 104.5 The Zone. So we'll talk about your teammates and kind of the atmosphere that you guys have had over here the last couple of months since you're signed. But working with Rob Moore as your wide receiver coach, how big of an asset has Rob been to you thus far, and what do you feel like you've learned from him in at least the early goings?
Yeah, I mean, he's awesome. I love him. As a player, you always love to have a coach that is played in the league himself. For me personally, it's just like having – I know I'm older in my year, but it's still like having an older vet in the locker room with you, just telling you things, giving you little tips and hits of the games. Because sometimes like a coach that hasn't been out there and doesn't understand how to like win a one-on-one matchup through these little techniques, he understands because he's been in that position. So I feel like that's just the biggest thing he's brought to my game is just continue to give me little tips and tricks I might not have known myself.
Now, I at least I know Rob's front-facing personality, a real low-key guy, at least with us.
Yeah.
You ever put on some YouTube highlights of him, and does he ever try to like talk some smack about how he used to rattle up?
Nah, he doesn't talk any smack about us. Like you said, he's pretty laid back. But I personally tried to look up some highlight tapes. Sadly, he's a little older, so
he's nice.
He was nice. It's hard to find him though, but I found some. There was one where he was like playing in a game with a broken wrist and still like had an amazing game. So that just shows like what type of man he was as a player, and I feel like it carries over to him as a coach.
How have you felt about the competition, like within your guys' position group right now, and everybody seems to be elevating their game at this stage, or at least elevating their practice reps?
Yeah.
How have you felt like that's played itself out?
I mean, I feel like it's good. Everybody's out here competing. I personally don't think everybody's just like settling because of who's here and what position they've already seemed like they're going to be in. I think everybody's still grinding every day to try to get better, and we're all pushing each other. And I think, like with bringing D-Hop in, that just helped our room be even better. And just for younger guys to see how he plays and how he practices, that helps a lot too. So it's been great.
When you saw the news that he was signing here, what was your initial reaction?
I mean, I was excited because I personally, I watched him. That's one of my favorite receivers in the league. Like, I always thought his ability to catch the ball and make contested one-on-one catches is amazing. So to be able to see him every day in practice and see like that's how he practices is not just a thing he does during the game is awesome. So I was excited to have him here.
Working with Ryan Tannehill, now that you guys have gotten a couple of months under your belt, whether it's from the voluntary stuff and now into training camp, what kind of stands out about the way that he works?
Man, I love his like mind for the game. He's able to, after a play, to come to you and tell you, like, oh, is this defense? I want you to run this route a little more like this. Like, to have, like, detailed quarterback tell you, like, detailed information like that where he wants you to be is nice as a receiver because that's all you want to do as a receiver. You want to be where the quarterback wants you to be so he can throw you the ball. And the way Ryan Tannehill is able to, like, just tell you where he wants you and give you that trust and confidence in him is awesome. And I think especially because he used to play receiver, he has a little more knack of understanding how we play too. So I mean, it's been great.
From the it's always funny to see, you guys going out there and competing against one another, and how much more trash the defense talks than the offense. I tried to get Chig to tell me who's the biggest smack talker on the offense, and he basically said we got too much going on. Like, we're trying to get everybody in the right spot. We're not worried about Arden screaming. He's just going to come across the line when he comes across the line, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Does anybody talk trash anywhere close to the level of Arden and Jeff on the offense?
No, there's no way. No.
At all?
No, I don't think nobody can be as close to them two. Like, they're two big personalities that are always talking trash. Like Chase said, like, defense players don't got to think. They got to see ball, get ball. We have a lot to process, a lot to communicate between each other, so I don't think we got time for that. Maybe after play or something, but nobody as big as them two at all.
What are you about to go do after this?
I'm about to go just take care of my body, to be honest, stretch, probably getting I'm not getting a cold tubs. I do that later. But just take care of my body, get some food. Might get on the game real quick, pop somebody in FIFA, but that's about it.
Who's the best FIFA player in the locker room?
I am.
Like, no question.
Yes.
How many other people would say I am, though?
I don't think anybody. Somebody, if they try to be funny, they might say they are.
So this is a known fact. Like, man, you run FIFA in the locker room.
I think I might lose one game every once in a while. Like, somebody gets lucky every once in a while, but I'm winning most of the games.
What's the go-to team?
Oh, well, we're at the point now where we random.
Oh, nice.
Like, we played with every team, and we random the teams and just get to cool.
But if you had a go-to, if you get to pick, who you going with most of the time?
The team that I've been playing with a lot is Atletico Madrid.
Nice.
I don't know why, but I just like how they play, so that's what I've been playing with.
I don't think I've gotten so many fights in college over FIFA games.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the most heated conversations you ever had with your friends.
Think of Atletico like the Titans version of La Liga in the way that they play.
I like that.
Spain.
Lucas has to dumb things down for me when we get into soccer stuff. It's a blind spot for me. Chris, appreciate you stopping by. Continued health and success, and looking forward to watching you guys can continue to compete out there on a Saturday night.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
That's wide receiver Chris Moore hanging out here with us. We'll hear from Mike Vrabel at the podium coming up next.